For those of you who don't know me, my name is Michael Dion. I'm the Director of Community Development for the City of Fall River. Tonight we're here for a public hearing on the needs for the Home Investment Partnership Program. Tonight's public hearing is being held to provide residents of Fall River and all interested parties the opportunity to express their views on housing needs in the city. The City of Fall River is required to develop an allocation plan for the commitment of $3,813,993 of Home ARP grant funding. At this time, I'd like to explain to you what Home ARP grant funding can be used for and who it can benefit from this funding. FRCD has put together a brief PowerPoint presentation, and you guys have hard copies at the table in the back when you walked in. So on the PowerPoint presentation, Home ARP money is part of the $5 billion American Rescue Plan. It is one-time funding. Again, the city is going to receive, has already received $3,813,993, and there is, they give you 10 years to spend this money. Who would benefit from Home ARP funding? Individuals and families from the following qualifying populations. So this money is for the benefit of homeless, people at risk of homelessness, people fleeing or attempting to flee domestic violence, dating violence, and sexual assault, stalking, or human trafficking. Other populations where providing assistance would prevent the family's homelessness, so it would serve those with the greatest risk of housing instability. And lastly, veterans and families that include a veteran family member that meets one of the preceding criteria. So this is who would benefit from Home ARP funding. We're required to benefit those qualifying populations that you see. What can Home ARP funds be used for? It can be used for the production or preservation of affordable housing, tenant-based rental assistance, supportive services including homeless prevention services and housing counseling, purchase and development of non-congregate shelter for individuals and families experiencing homelessness, and also you can use up to 15% of it for administration and planning of the grant, and up to 5% for operating costs of community housing development organizations and other nonprofit organizations, including homeless providers. So this is basically, what the funding can be used for. Housing set aside for homeless. This is currently what we have as an inventory for the City of Fall River. Mary Camara put this together for me from my office. Emergency shelter individuals, First Step In has 20 year-round beds with additional 30 winter beds. Our overflow, which is Solomon's Porch on Bay Street, has 30 overflow beds, and our Sister's Place has 1 emergency bed in it. Our Sister's Place is the domestic violence shelter in the city. We have emergency shelters for families. Our Sister's Place has 2 units. Fall River Family Center has 6. The House Program has 39, and the Focus Program has 9. The House and the Focus Program are scattered sites throughout the city. Also, we have a series of permanent supportive housing. We have 5 different programs. Cornerstone, which has 25 units. Francis House, which is 3 units. Home First Consolidated is 12. Stone Residence 22, and Next Up Home Program is 40. And we have 11 VASH vouchers, veteran vouchers, 4 for families and 11 for individuals. So that's basically what we have in the city as a housing inventory that helps the homeless and people who are at risk of homeless. This next chart kind of has a lot of information on it. It basically has what our current inventory is and what our needs and gaps are. We have 108 adult heads of households that are unsheltered homeless that are living on the streets. We have 8 veterans and 5 victims of domestic violence. This was done using the point in time count that was done in February. So again, this shows you what your current inventory is of what you have available and what you have determined for shelter and unsheltered homelessness. Sheltered, you have 105, 109, about 142, 143 sheltered living at First Step Inn at our sister's place. Other shelters that are in the city. So we got almost 121 people living on the actual streets that did not have a place, a roof over their head when the point in time count was done. This next chart also shows the housing needs inventory and gap analysis. It says that we have 25,000 rental units in the city. It determines who is paying more than 30% of their income and who's paying more than 50%. Anybody that pays more than 30% is housing cost burden. Anybody that's paying over 50% is severely housing cost burden. It shows the level of need that we have and also the gap. So we're showing, based on what we have as an inventory and a level of need, we're short about 3,255 units for households in the city. That's what we're showing right now. So the big question and why we're here tonight is, how should we invest this home op funding? Should we create additional affordable housing units? Should the funds be used for permanent, long-lasting projects like affordable housing, or for short-term benefit like tenant-based rental assistance? Should the funds be used for supportive services in the affordable housings, and we should be developing non-congregate shelters? So that's what this whole process is about. This whole process of having a public hearing tonight, and then having a comment period, and then having another public hearing, is so that we can find out how the community wants to invest this $3.8 million. The next steps in the development of the substantial amendment is we have a small survey that we're asking people to fill out. It's at on the city's website, the first page, you can't miss it, it's up at the top, www.fallriverma.org. The survey has about maybe 9 to 11 questions, I think it is, and it will help us determine what people want to see in the community. We're going to get everybody back to this hearing room on June 29th to go over how we're actually going to allocate this money. And there's a public comment period that people can write in. They can send written comments into the Community Development Agency. That's June 27th through July 12th. And we're looking to submit the allocation plan and the substantial amendment sometime around July 29th. Okay? Testimony and statements, letters and requests and petitions submitted at tonight's hearing will be used in the development of the allocation plan. FRCDA also requests participants and city residents to complete the home op survey that I just discussed, located on the main page of the city's website. A summary of the proposed allocation plan is to be published on June 27th and on the city's website, and it will also be made available at the Community Development Agency on the 6th floor at Government Center. Again, another public hearing is scheduled for June 29th at 6 p.m. in this room, the City Council hearing room, to afford residents the opportunity to review and comment on the proposed plan. And again, residents have until July 12th to submit additional comments. All statements received during the review period will be considered in the development of the City of Fall River's home op allocation plan. According to the submission timetable, the allocation plan will be submitted sometime again around July 29th. So the format of tonight's public hearing is to allow participants the opportunity to express their views on the city's housing needs. Persons willing to speak will be called to testify. Each person should state his or her name and address if appropriate, and the agency or organization represented. So we have about 6 participants here tonight. We didn't have anybody sign up for speaking. Again, you know the timeline that we're looking at. So we definitely would like to hear your comments, have you come back at the next public hearing to see how the money is going to be allocated. We'd like to know your thoughts on how it's going to be allocated. So speaking tonight doesn't stop anything. I mean, not speaking, you can send in your comments to the Community Development Agency anytime you want. So if that's nobody wants to speak, I'll conclude the public hearing tonight, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the 29th of June for the next public hearing. Thank you.